Hey guys, it's Danae. So this is part 4 of my mini military series. Um, Nothing I say is, reflective of the military or anything specific. It's just very, very general information, just giving people ideas and kind of helpful hints, and just thinking about being a PA and different ways that you can exercise it. The civilian medicine is great. But there are also opportunities in Army medicine or military medicine, Navy medicine, Air Force medicine, whatever it is that tickles your fancy. So just like the other parts that came before, I'm going to try to keep this short, sweet, and to the point. Also, I'm thinking this will probably be the last portion of my military mini series. If you guys do have more specific questions, I can answer them. So this video is going to be more of a tips and tricks video, right? What would you, if you're in the position where you are like, you know what, being a military PA, whichever branch that is for you, seems like something I will like, right? Here are some tips and tricks and things that I would advise you to do before you kind of make that full commitment before you sign a contract. One, I would talk to a recruiter, right? Talk to a recruiter, see the pros, see the cons, write them all out, right? What are your options? Are you looking to be active duty? Are you looking to be National Guard? What unit are you going to be a part of? Are you going to be a part of a medical detachment? Are they going to, transition you to something like, the engineers or infantry, something else? And is that something that fits your personality as a medical provider? So those are all important questions to ask. And at the end of the day, you can get transferred to any unit. So always keep that in mind. One of the things that's nice about being a PA is when it comes to deployment, you have a maximum 60 day, oh my gosh, a 6-month deployment is kind of the max for PAs. For docs, I think the max is 90 days. But like some of the National Guard units, what they tend to do is, like, say they have a long deployment, they allow providers to kind of volunteer, and people volunteer for slots, and they kind of switch out every 3 months. And that's why I'm saying I can't speak specifically. Like, that might just be one state if you're in National Guard, but if you're active duty, they might send you for, that full for a longer period. So I can't really speak to how that works. So don't hold me to everything that I say, just because each person's situation is going to be a little bit different. Now, once you talk to a recruiter, I would actually ask to spend time with someone who is in the unit that has the same role that you will have, so that you can get like true insight without a recruiter there. I think that's really helpful, because I really do think that the military is a lifestyle, and it's different. So you really need to get to know someone outside of the recruiter to see if it's a good fit. Now, fitness, right? When it comes to height and weight requirements, if you do not meet the height and weight requirements, that is something that you really need to think about. Are you able to meet those height and weight requirements? And are you willing to do what it takes to maybe lose a couple pounds? The next thing is physical fitness. Sometimes we think that, okay, well, I'm medical, so the Army or the Air Force or the Navy has taken me in for my brain, but you still need to meet those general requirements. You still need to be a soldier first, right? So can you meet the height and weight requirements? And then the next thing is, can you meet the physical fitness requirements? So now if we're talking Army, we're thinking about the ACFT, right? Can you deadlift a minimum of 120 pounds? Can you do the standing ball throw? Can you do the sprint drag carry and then run 2 miles after that and actually pass this test? Or is that something that you have to work at? Because one of the things I will say about the physical fitness, sometimes people, the recruiters, are so happy to get a medical provider that they kind of brush things to the side, and it might not be a big deal to them because they think you'll rise and meet the standard. But when you are working 40 hours a week at the hospital and you're burnt out and you're working on your second master's, but you still need to get up at 5 a.m. 5 days a week to keep up with your physical fitness and run 2 to 3 miles to be in shape, is that going to be something that you're going to be able to do? You know, if you struggle with your weight, are you going to be able to meal prep for the entire week with the time that you have? And if you're in the National Guard, it's like, okay, you just worked 40 hours a week at your hospital. Now it's your drill weekend. So if you leave, you know, Friday night, you're at drill, you come back Sunday evening, and you're back to your 5-day work week. So I would say that those are all things to be considered. Sometimes when you're coming in, it seems like the responsibility will be less, but once you get into it, there is more and more and more responsibility. Also, when it comes to height and weight requirements, if you can't meet that standard, something that the Army does is they'll tape you in, right? How do you feel about getting taped in, you know? And how much anxiety is that process going to cause you? And also, things happen when, you know, when a recruiter sees someone with your credentials as a PA, you know, is that initial taping done correctly? Like, you can, hypothetically speaking, you can be taped alone with your recruiter over your baggy sweater. You have no idea what numbers they put into the computer. And then 1 year later, when it's time for you to hit that standard, you are way off of where you should be, and now you have an issue, now you're flagged. So it's a little bit more serious than you would have anticipated. Okay, so this video, which should be the last part of the series, is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below and I can try to elaborate. But this officially marks the end of my mini series. Thanks, guys.